Hope everybody's doing all right. It looks like one person might have showed up already. Hey, Vanna, how are you doing this evening? I hope your days went well. But I ain't been home from work for very long. I kind of got bored, so I decided just to go ahead and get started on the live a little earlier tonight than I planned to. We'll make it work somehow. Did you have a good week this week, Vanna? Been a little crazy here in the South with been under a heat wave for a while. Hey, Miss Fawn, how are you doing this evening? I hope you doing all right. Hope you doing all right with all that heat wave y'all been getting up there. Been another hot one down here today. Yeah, it was in the 90s today with the heat index in the well over into the hundreds again today. And the way they're talking is supposed to be like that all the way up till sometime next week. But I think somewhere right around Tuesday or Wednesday, our rain chances pick up. So I'm looking for that. They're not calling for any severe weather. All that's up to the north and west of us, but I'm just hoping for some regular rain where it'll cool down here. A lot of ponds and creeks have been drying up here, and plus everybody with everybody's air conditioner struggling to keep up. The power grid ain't been doing too hot around here. And that's good, Miss Fauna. That, and I hope you're staying hydrated and wait till it's cooled off to go outside and do anything. After I got off of work, me and my dad and one of his friends went looking around to see if we could see any deer and turkey this morning. Now, that's a pretty good movie. I hadn't watched it in a while. It's probably been at least a good 10 years since I last seen that movie, but it was a pretty good movie, though. Have to get back into watching. I have to go and watch that again sometime if I can find it in my collection somewhere. And I recently rewatched Red Dawn, the original one. I mean, nothing personal against the remake, but I like the original a whole lot better. And the remake was all right for what it was, but it just couldn't live up to the nostalgia of the way the original Red Dawn was. But yeah, this evening was riding around looking for deer and turkey. The eagles around here have came back pretty strong, and I think we ended up seeing like 18 or 19 of them flying around, and finally got to see a couple of deer. And went by this one guy's house that usually has a lot of farm animals, and come to find out he sold a majority of his goats and cows, and that's why we hadn't been seeing them. Because some of these routes we've been riding around, we know what animals. Oh, that's just notifications from Facebook. I just forgot to log out before I got into here. If it starts getting any worse than what it is, I'll block it, or I'll turn the notifications off till we get done here. But that's just mainly some Facebook notifications where I put up a funny meme and people are starting to laugh about it. It was a picture of a German Shepherd, and the caption of it is, "I just drank your coffee, and now I'm wanting some more," which is pretty funny, but I learned the hard way never let a dog drink coffee, because even though they're already hyper, that just makes it even worse. And needless to say, our dog stayed pretty hyper for about 3 hours. And I also learned the hard way, never let a dog drink alcohol. Now, I know y'all going to think that's animal cruelty, but we only ever did it the one time just to see what would happen. And it's fun. You starting early on the drinking again. You're supposed to wait till nighttime. But, stay safe up there drinking that. I got a couple of Dr. Peppers in here with me. I don't drink them little 20 ounces. I usually just go with the 2 liters. That way, I'm not having to run back and forth to the fridge getting Dr. Peppers. I go by that old saying, work smarter, not harder. Which today at work, it was just god awful out there today. They had me working outside in the parking lot. And even though the heat index was over 100, with the heat coming off that parking lot, it felt more like it was 200 out there. But they was nice enough to let us take some breaks to cool down and get in the shade for a while. And one of the upsides about working out in the parking lot is you get to see a lot of the craziness before it makes it into the store. And had a group of drunk people come in, and they kept falling before they even made it into the store. And I don't know how far into drinking they was, but some of the women that was with them was flashing everybody there, and then got onto some of those electric wheelchairs and apparently decided to play Mario Kart in the store. And from what I heard, they tore up a lot of stuff and was asking people to come help take care of them. But wasn't no way in the world I was going in there dealing with all that. I had my fun for a while on dealing with drunk idiots, so I stayed outside and got a good laugh about hearing all the crashes and yelling and people running around. And those things ain't all that quick, but if y'all know anything about Walmart management and the security team they got working there, it's not all that hard to fool them and get away from them. So got to watch the security footage of it, and I tried to beg them to let me send it into America's Funniest Home Videos, because I guarantee you we could have won some money off that if America's Funniest Home Videos is even still a thing. I know back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was popular, but I haven't watched it in so long, I don't even know if it's still on anymore. Because the last time I watched it, it was that guy, it was the dad from Full House that was still hosting it. So that kind of tells you how long it's been since I watched that show. They used to have some pretty funny stuff on there, and I even made it on there one time. I shared it on one of my earlier uploads when I first started uploading to YouTube, but just in case some of y'all haven't watched it or anything or went that far back to see it, I'll retell the... Yeah, I like watching them too, Miss Fawn. I'll retell that story on the... I came in second place on America's Funniest Home Videos, lost out to a... can't even remember what my video lost to. But this was back in 2006. Had a early 90s or mid 90s Model 4 Taurus, and it had the gear shift up on the column by the steering wheel there. And the linkage between the gear shifter and that little part to the transmission that tells it what gear you're going to and everything, one of the bolts came loose. And there was times that no matter how hard you tried to change the gears, there's no telling if it would change it or not, or what gear you would end up in. And I'm not mechanically smart, and you don't want me working on a vehicle. And my dad's one of those, unless you're pushing him. standing behind pushing him to do something. He just takes his sweet time about it. But I was working night shifts. This was about my third year in the night shift. And what I do is when I go to leave, he'd put it in drive, close the hood. I'd drive to work, uh, then jam it into park, put on the emergency brake, and then turn the vehicle off, then go under the vehicle or pop the hood, put it into park. And when I go to leave, I couldn't get somebody to put it in reverse for me. I would do it myself. Well, this one time I made it to where I put the emergency brake on, even though it was in park. I knew it wasn't going nowhere, but I put the emergency brake on anyway. And that morning when I went to go leave, I turned the vehicle on, opened the door, and put the shifter in reverse there, and popped the hood, and put the little thing on top of the transmission in reverse, slammed the hood down, and right about the time I made it to the driver's side door to get in, the emergency brake popped. To this day, I ain't figured it out why it popped, but I got knocked down, and my front leg, or my legs right about my ankles, got ran over by the car, and it went across the parking lot in reverse. And somehow it got turned around. Don't know how that happened, because at that point I was still trying to get up off the ground. Came back through, ran me over again. And this is why nobody was in the vehicle driving it or anything. Somehow got turned back around. It was shooting across the parking lot. Thankfully, it was still early in the morning. At this time, it was a little after 7 in the morning. Wasn't a whole lot of people there other than your elderly and a few people getting ready to go to work. But it was mainly a bunch of elderly there because, they wake up at the butt crack of dawn for everything they do. And barely misses a truck driver that was going inside the store, and it hit one vehicle, and the only thing it did to it was broke a tail light. But I knew the guy driving it, and he said he wasn't worried about trading insurance and everything. All the thing he wanted me to do is buy him a new tail light, and he'd put it in. That's as far as we went with it. And anyway, it ran over a buggy and got jammed up against a light pole, and that saved it from going inside the store. And I made it to the vehicle, got it in drive, got it parked, and put it in park, turned the vehicle off. Of course, we had to call the cops. Even though Walmart property is privately owned, and even if you have a wreck there, I don't know what the right word would be doing this, but writing up a police report ain't going to do a whole lot when it comes to wreck, because it's a Walmart private property. And you basically just got to let insurances do something, unless you just actively, intentionally run over somebody. A simple car accident where it's just an accident, all around, the cops ain't really going to do a lot, but we are talking about Scottsboro cops. They're useless. But anyway, cops came over, did their report. The guy that I hit said, we told him about the deal me and him made, and that was all that was said. And I got home and everything, and kicked my dad out of the bed and told him to fix it. And he tightened up the bolt, never had any more problems with it. And ended up cracking a rib somehow. I don't know how I cracked a rib when the car just ran over the ankles on my legs, so go figure on that. But we are talking about Walmart magic here. And I get back to work. Of course, everybody that was working night shift, they're having a good laugh about it. Management's having a good laugh about it. And this is the one and only time I seen the store manager of Walmart stay that late because he usually leaves about 5 o'clock. And this is the only time I ever seen that man laugh like that because he didn't laugh much. He'd rather cuss you out than look at you. But yeah, Miss Fawn, I had a pretty good week. It's just been a long, hot week. The shenanigans at Walmart ain't been as bad as it has been. But I get to the store, they're having a good laugh at me. They call me in the office there, and they show me the video footage of it. And, well, that's good, Miss Fawn. Hopefully your weekend goes good and keeps going good into next week. But we watched the video footage, and they were saying as they was watching it, when I got knocked down, they couldn't understand. Yeah, Miss Fanner, the video footage was hilarious. Because you see me getting in the vehicle and it take off, and I get knocked down, and nobody understood where I was. You even see the vehicle come back around and the car jump up from where it was running me over. And like I said, I was laying right there in the parking lot, but apparently the camera angle, they couldn't see me laying there. And I was like, well, I was that little speed bump that car hit there. And they all got a good laugh out of it. And I was like, I want a copy of this. And I sent it in to America's Funniest Home Videos. I forget what episode it was, but I think it aired in 2007. I get called to the show. I had to take a vacation to go, but that's the only time I ever made it to where I was filming and made it on TV. And I came in second place. I wished I'd have came in first, but I can't complain. And with as many funny things as they get on that show, I was just privileged to come in second place. And Bob Saget, the guy who played the dad on Full House, was still hosting then. And I got to meet him. He's a pretty nice guy. Now, the Bob Saget that you see on Full House playing the dad isn't the same Bob Saget that you'll meet in real life. He's still a nice fella. He's still nice. He's pretty chill. He talked all over, signed some autographs, took some pictures, and he cracks some. His jokes are a little edgier than what you would hear on Full House, which I understand was a family show. You couldn't have cussing or nothing. But I don't even know if he's even still alive anymore. If he is, and you get a chance to meet him, he'll take the time to talk to you and everything. But if he's passed away, that kind of sucks. I should have looked into that before I got on here. But he was a pretty nice guy. He was pretty cool. And the guy who played the uncle, not the one who played Jesse, but the one who played Joey, was actually backstage, and he was pretty cool to meet. Well, that kind of sucks, man. I probably heard about it and forgot all about it and everything, but for whatever reason, I forgot all about it. Could have swore he was still alive. He was a pretty funny guy. He was pretty cool. Like I said, he was nothing like he was, portrayed on Full House, but he was still a pretty cool guy. And yeah, nowadays, it's kind of sad that anything will take you out nowadays. It's a million wonders I ain't been killed over the years or died, but good Lord watching out for me. And really ain't got nothing planned for this weekend. I know I'm going to be I got a special video coming out for you on Sunday, or sometime on Sunday. Yeah, I went through the hellhole there in North Carolina when I went whitewater rafting, because it's where the hellhole is. They got a water plant over there, and it's under the bridge that goes to it. The place where we went whitewater rafting was the Aquoy, which is a fun place to go whitewater rafting. Yeah, Bob Saget was a good actor. I only ever seen him in Full House and America's Funniest Top, America's Funniest Home Videos, and some of his stand-up specials. Yeah, there's quite a few videos of people going through the Akoi and going through or past the hellhole there. I wish I'd have took a video of it, but at the time I lived up there, I still had a flip phone. And well, anybody knows anything about early to mid 2000 flip phones, the video quality on them sucked. And we had smart phones, but they wasn't nothing like they are now. But if I ever get a chance to go back up that way, I'll take some videos of it up there and share on here. And the cell phone reception's kind of hit and miss, depending on what part of the Akoi you're on or at. And I would do a live, but I don't know with the reception up there, it'd be kind of interesting. But like I said, if you get a chance to go up there it starts in Tennessee, and no, it starts in North Carolina and ends in Tennessee. Because where the Akoi empties out at is like a couple of miles outside or a couple of miles into North or Tennessee. But it's pretty fun. I'd if you're not afraid of it, it's like a grade 5 rapid, which is the highest you can get to. And why we chose to put on life vest and a helmet and go through there and do that is beyond me. And how we didn't end up getting killed is even more beyond me. But it was pretty fun. It's an experience I won't ever forget and wouldn't never do again now, but I was 26 or 27 at the time, young and dumb and wasn't really thinking. So it was definitely fun, though. I had a cut afterwards, after we got done with that and swimming and all that. We went and done some grilling out and everything. It was a pretty fun day. Because we got started right around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. I think it was about close to 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at night before we got done through that line. Ended up getting sunburnt pretty bad. And we had a couple because they were filled with Powerades and sweet tea. But yeah, we had a couple of coolers full of them. And time we got done, we didn't have no Powerades or sweet tea left, which that's kind of sucked. Even if you know anything about our Southerners, we love our sweet tea, and it kind of sucks when you run out. But it was a fun day. We grilled hot dogs, hamburgers, had a potato salad and stuff like that. And the beach they had there at the end of it was pretty fun. Yeah, now I don't know how they do it out west where you're at or up north, but it's definitely a must-have here in the South. And if you're a diabetic, I wouldn't recommend drinking a whole lot of it because they put a whole buttload of sugar in it down here. Enough to when you take a sip of it, the hair on your arms and head will be standing up. That's how strong they make it. But it's definitely good. It's definitely made different around here. Because, yeah, pretty much is, man. And the way some of us around here make it, we'll send it through a coffee maker one time. It does, Vanna, but it's still worth it, though. It's still some of the best tasting stuff you'll ever have. And yeah, Miss Fawn, like I say, it's pretty sweet, but it's well worth having. But a lot of us here in the South will send it through the coffee pot once and then put it on the stove and finish it off again like that. And then we'll eventually it makes its way into the fridge. But time it makes to the fridge, depending on how many people's there when you get done, at least half of it's already going to be gone by the time it makes it into the fridge to cool down. Now I ain't got nothing against drinking water, but I'm one of those. I don't drink it unless I'm being pretty much have nothing else to drink and being forced to drink it until I can get some more sweet tea and Dr Pepper and all and Powerades. But water is kind of the stuff I just limit to where I'm working or if I'm outside going to be doing something. Otherwise, it's nothing but Dr Pepper, sweet tea, or Powerade for me. I'm the same way, Miss Fan. I'm a big soda person myself. Yeah, water, like I say, I just can't drink it plain. I gotta have a little taste of my water. Now I'll do a little cheating and get that water that's got the already got the flavored in it, like a watermelon, green apple, and stuff like that. Now I'll drink that all day, every day, but just can't drink plain water by itself. I just gotta have something with some taste to it. Because otherwise, I'll just drink a couple of sips of it and it'll never be touched again the rest of the day. And like I said, unless I'm at work and I'm working outside or something. And I ended up making pizza for supper, and then I made homemade pizza. That was pretty good. I don't eat a whole lot of pizza, but every now and again I find myself making some homemade stuff. That's pretty good. Now, Gatorade and Powerade's pretty good. I like it, but I also understand it's not for everybody. But it is fun to drink. It pretty much rehydrates you. It's got all those whatever it is they put in there to help you rehydrate that's good for you. I never really tried Propel. I heard it was pretty good, and I just never got around to trying it myself. But I always like getting those little on the go Kool Aid packets. Is pretty good. I'll get the fruit punch and whatever that is that's blue that turns it blue. I forget the name of it. Wild berry or something like that. Now that's pretty good. And but the video I got coming out Sunday morning, I got permission from the people that turned those boulders into farm animals and painted them. They're yeah, I try flavoring water some every now and again when I get in the mood to drink some water. That's about the only way I can drink. I just can't drink it plain. And I like getting the watermelon and the green apple. That's pretty good. But Sunday morning, I got permission to do some filming at that place where the people turn the boulders into farm animals and people and all and painted them. And I'm going to spend a few minutes there filming that and upload it for you so that way y'all can get a look at it. Y'all might not like it, y'all may like it, but it is a pretty interesting place to visit. And I'm still kind of trying to sweet talk them into appearing in the video, but I can't make any promises if they'll actually show up in the video or not. But I'll try to make it as interesting as I can for you and get a good shot of all the different variety of animals they got made and painted and all. Because I know it's been around for almost 30 years now. If memory serves it right, that they've had it down there, and they don't charge anything as long as you don't destroy anything or trash up the place. They have no problem with people stopping by and taking pictures and filming and all that. And what's even neater is they got some farm animals to the pasture to the side that they'll let you pet and go feed and all that. And I'll see if I can get some of them to cooperate long enough to get them in the video because they got a pig there that's 5 or 6 years old and it's right at 300 pounds. And they call it Peaches. Don't know how it got that name, but it's a pretty fun pig to be around. And it'll come up and let you pet it and talk to you in the pig voice and everything. And as long as you don't try to pick it up, because that's a big old boy. But some of the ghosts, now they get a little antsy and try to headbutt you or bite you a little, but it's never to the point they try to injure you or anything. And, they're some pretty nice people and all. If y'all ever come to Alabama, I'd show you some of the more interesting places and some of the places I like to visit and go around to. And then I don't know if y'all remember it, but years and years ago, 50 Cent had that, I think it was Smart Water or something like that. It was kind of like Powerade and Gatorade mixed. That was pretty good, and I drank it for the longest. Probably about 4 years. That's what I'd take to work. Or if I was going to be out fishing or going hunting, that's what I'd take with me to drink on. And it was pretty good. I don't remember what happened to it. I haven't been able to find it around here in years. I think it's been 10 or 11 years since I last seen any of that. It was some kind of, wasn't Smart Water, but it kind of like Powerade, but it was made by 50 Cent the rapper. And I wish I could find it again because that stuff was pretty good. Because down here we're at Walmart, I think we paid a little over $1 a bottle if you bought it single. But if you bought it in a pack, I think it came like in a pack of 9 for $6-7, which wasn't all that bad. And it was pretty good for you. I just can't remember the name. I keep wanting to call it Smart Water, but that's a completely different product going on. And I tried it once, but it wasn't all that great. I didn't feel no smarter, but more power to people that want to buy that and attempt out to drink that in one day. Because, if you have to find one of those bottles, then I'm sure y'all seen how big those things are, but if you have to find one of those that didn't come into about the size of a regular 1 liter bottle, at least around here. And the price for them is absolutely ridiculous. And I also noticed this evening gas prices around here finally came down. Last week they get up to a little over $3, and noticed this evening it was like $2.90 something, $2.98 I believe it was. I tend not to pay much attention to it unless whoever I'm riding with stops to get gas, because I'll help them out with gas and me riding around with them. But I don't know how gas prices are where y'all live, but it's pretty cheap here in the South. And I don't know if y'all have an Aldi's where y'all live at, but if you ever get a chance to shop there, it's a pretty great place to shop. We got one here, and I haven't drunk Rockstar in a couple of years now. I quit drinking it a long time ago. I quit drinking it right before Biden quit drinking it. And I used to drink that Venom energy drink because it was like $1 a can around here. But I've pretty much cut out drinking energy drinks. They keep raising my blood pressure, and I just quit drinking. But Aldi's is a pretty great place to go shopping at. Because the one we have here, you can buy a dozen eggs for like 75 cents. and you can get up to 6 of them, but you can't buy no more than 6 dozen eggs. And milk was something right around like a little over $1.40, which is not a bad deal. Yeah, I meant to turn that off, but it was Facebook again. Outside of what few of y'all I talked to here on YouTube, or what few people I actually talk out here in the real world, I don't really get a lot of messages from them unless I just post something on YouTube or Facebook, and that's about it. But Aldi's is a great place to shop, and I highly recommend it. Their meat prices are a little ridiculous, but if you're looking to get other stuff like milk, eggs, and a lot of your canned products pretty cheap, now they're a great place to shop. And I wouldn't recommend buying any alcohol products from there, because they absolutely do get the good stuff when it comes to that. At least the one around here. We got two in the county next to me. One is in the last little city as you're going toward Birmingham, and one's close to a spot I like to go fishing at, which I need to go back fishing at because some of the catfish in the spot I like to go fishing at can get up to like 140 pounds. And every time I've caught a fish from there, or a catfish at least, they've been between 75 and 110 pounds. But I have known people that's caught them up to 140 pounds there, and which I don't eat fish out of that river because pollution. I talked about that in the last video. And the biggest fish I ever caught out of a river, or biggest bass I ever caught out of a river, was from there. It was right at there, a 30-pound bass. And I'm also second in the state for biggest crappie ever caught in the state of Alabama. This was back in 97. I might have mentioned this in a video. But I caught a 5-pound crappie. And at the time, it was first in the state. But it didn't stay there for long, and I got bumped down to second, which is still awesome to be in the record books for something like that. And when you're 13 years old, that's the greatest thing in the world, and something you could hold over your friend's head for a while. But we do get some pretty good sized fish around here. Mainly the catfish are about the biggest you can get around here. And here in the next couple of weeks, to possibly sometime next month, I'm going to go visit the dam we got not far from here. It's probably about a 35-40 minute drive from here. And they let you go in there and look around. Now, there's some places you can't go into for obvious security reasons, but when I get down there to go looking around, I don't know if I'll do a live stream or just a video of it, whichever one's more convenient and easier to do, because it stays pretty crowded there, but it is definitely something fun to see when we go visit there. And then I seen on Facebook, I don't know how much of this was Photoshop, just the angle that they took the picture, but in a couple of counties for me, a guy caught a cottonmouth snake where he was fishing at. That was 6 foot long and weighed close to 10 pounds. And that's a pretty good sized boy when it comes to snakes, especially poisonous. We got some pretty good sized bluegill around here. And but the shell crackers around here get a little bit. That's another different species of brim. And the shell cracker, I think, is about the biggest you can get. And those right there are fun to get a hold of. And where I live out here in Alabama, you think living next to a field would see a lot of snakes. But I'm going to be honest with you. I've lived here in this spot here for 13 years now, and I've seen one snake. come through and the landlord ran it over with the lawnmower. I really didn't get a good look at what it was because the lawnmower blade tore it up real bad. But I wouldn't be surprised if we had some out there, especially around that pond they got out there in the middle of it. But I hadn't seen a whole lot of snakes. I just seen the one in the 13 years I've lived in this spot. But now when I'm out and about having my adventures, whether it's at work or riding around or going fishing, I've seen a few snakes. And in this one spot, this is kind of funny, that I used to go fishing at, just down there at Goose Pond. I'm sure y'all probably heard of it, but you have it. It's pretty famous around here in Alabama, and I'm sure y'all have heard of the Big Bass tournament that goes all over the United States, holding fishing tournaments, and Goose Pond's one of its stops. I think it happens sometime in July. I could be wrong, but I think it's July when it goes on around here. We have some around here. We don't really see them a whole lot. Now we see more soft shell turtles, and then there's some that they're not snapping turtles, but they get the same. I'm not good at remembering the name of turtles, but these right here get a little bit bigger than the snapping turtles that people like to keep as pets that we got hanging around here. I seen two of them Monday as I was riding around in Scottsboro. One of them I got to pet on the back of its shell, and the other one moved off the highway because it was trying to cross a busy highway. I was down at Goose Pond when I used to fish there regularly. There was this one spot I liked to fish at where a cottonmouth used to hang out at. It had its home there. And if anybody knows anything about cottonmouths, they're pretty aggressive snakes. And when I see them, but this one here, I was fishing and it poked its head up, and I smacked it with the. Now I'll carry a. See if I can find it. Here we go. I'll carry this with me fishing that I'll smack snakes with if it gets close enough. If I ain't able to shoot them, because there are some spots that are kind of picky about bringing guns around when you're fishing, and Goose Pond's one of them, because there's people that have houseboats that actually live there in the houseboats, and I can understand not wanting guns. So I'll take that with me, and I smacked it on the head a few times. I thought I killed it. But after I smacked it on the head a few times, it learned not to come close to me. And what I would do was, whenever I caught a brim, I would throw it to it, and it would take it and put it wherever it had its home was. And it learned that if it didn't bother me, I would feed it any small fish that I would catch and everything. And that went on for a couple of months. I went down there fishing. That got to be a pretty fat snake from all the fish I was feeding it. And the next year after that, when I went back there, I don't know if it died. Don't know if somebody killed it or it moved on or whatever, but it wasn't there no more. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen them cranes that like to hang around rivers and ponds, but we had one there that I don't know if it got clipped by a car or somebody tried to shoot it, but one of its wings was messed up that it couldn't really fly. Now it could glide for maybe a football field length at a time, but the people there that worked at Goose Pond kind of adopted it in, took care of it, and when me and my dad and his friend would go fishing there, any fish we would catch, we would feed it. And it went from being scared and skinny to being, a pretty good size, and it probably stuck around for about 5 years before it sadly passed away. Because I don't think they have a long life. But we fed it every time we was down there, and we wasn't the only ones feeding it. But the people that fed it would actually let you pet it. And those things are funny as hell to want to pet. And I made the mistake of trying to let it eat out of my hand one time. And part of its beak went into my hand. It hurt a little bit, but it was kind of no accident. And it was going for the fish. But, uh, I know the South gets a lot of flack for hunting and killing animals, but we also treat them with respect around here, and actually treat them pretty well. But that doesn't ever make the news and everything. But that was like a guy that lived next door to my grandpa. He was an avid hunter, but he was also one of those he gave back to nature and everything. And if you know anything about farming and everything, you're used to deer coming through. And he had this one deer that went through my grandpa's property and went into his, and it had its baby. And for whatever reason during childbirth, it passed away, but the baby lived. And when the guy went to go check his cows and everything, he found the baby deer right there next to its mom, and she had done passed away, and he didn't have the heart to leave it there. Which a lot of hunters have an unwritten rule. If you find a baby animal that's out in the wild and its parents are passed away or it's lost or abandoned, we adopt them in and raise them and then set them back out in the wild. So that's what this guy does. He takes it back to his barn, and a lot of your farmers in their barn will have these little stalls for cows. They have like a medical emergency going on, or giving birth, and the cow and the farmer wants to watch over, especially if it's a high risk pregnancy. But he puts it into, and it was still warm out, so it wasn't no worry about it passing away from the cold. But he'd go out there a couple of times a day, feed it, spend time with it, and by the time it was old enough and strong enough to walk around and eat regular food, he set it out in the pasture with his cows. And you wouldn't think cows and deer would really mingle with each other, but the cows adopted the baby deer. Well, at this time, it wasn't no longer a baby deer. It lost its spots, but it was still young. It was probably, if I had to put it in human terms, it was probably made it to its tween years, maybe early teenage years as far as animal ages go. And the cows kind of adopted in as one of their own, watched over it. And it turns out it was a buck, or it was a male deer. And he kept that thing around. Yeah, and we always thought when it got full grown and everything, it would run away. But believe it or not, it stuck around, and it made it to having 12 or 13 points on its antlers. And he kept that thing from the time it was born to the time it passed away. Deer have something like a 7 or 8 year lifespan out in the wild. Now, if you get one that's held in captivity, I think they can make it up to 10 years. And this one made it to 11 years old before it passed away, and we kind of missed the thing. We named it George. And he wasn't letting nobody hunt on his property or near it. He caught a few people out there trying to spotlight, and that were some of the more idiotic people and everything, but they never killed it, obviously. But down here in the South, us hunters do go by codes. You know, what you take from nature, you give back. Because, you want to be able to keep hunting around for future generations to enjoy, which sadly now, not a lot of your younger generation. I know I'm not that old. I'm gonna be turning 40 in July, but it's sad to see this generation of people now really not getting into hunting. And I know a lot of people see that as cruelty, but there are a lot of us who go out there and hunt for the food, but we do give back. Yeah, I'm a Cancer. I was born July 11th, 1984. Kind of hard to believe I'm about to hit 40 years old, but it is what it is. You got to get you old eventually. Can't stay young forever. My my mind says I'm 21. My heart says I'm in my 30s. My back says I'm 75, and my knees turned in their 2 week notice 3 years ago. They hurt like crazy, but I've messed them up over the years from obviously being overweight plus working on cement for the last 24 years of my life, and plus I've blew my ACL and my MCL out in both of them. So as you can imagine, my knees are not in great shape. But I plan on keeping on working until my knees ain't going to let me be able to do it anymore. Which I've done looked into it with the time I've put in at Walmart and what few other places I've worked part-time. I could actually retire and get a pretty good retirement check every month. Plus, I have a 401k that I haven't touched, and I have stock in Walmart that I've only ever touched once in the 24 years I've been there, and that was 12 years ago. But yeah, I'm a Cancer, and I always say the people that are Cancer are some of the best people you'll ever meet. Nothing personal against anybody else that's not a Cancer, but Cancer are the best people you'll ever meet. And you can't make me believe otherwise. Yeah, are you a Cancer, Miss Vanna and Miss Fawn, and whoever else might be hiding out in here with us? We're missing out our third or our fourth member of the party that usually comes in here and chit chats with us. Well, all right, we got two Cancers hanging out in here with us today. I can't remember that other guy's name, but hopefully he'll come along here soon, or he might have been a little busy today. I tried to get some of the other people I follow on YouTube to kind of make their way over here for the live, but slowly but surely we'll get there. I'm not going to give up on it. Even though I'm knocking on the door of getting 60 subscribers, and I never thought I'd even get nowhere near that much. I was just happy to get enough subscribers to do lives and everything. But when I started on this journey about talking about my time at Walmart, well, there's nothing wrong with that, Miss Fawn. We'll forgive you for that. We'll kind of adopt you in here with the rest of us. And, but when I first started this little journey, talking about my time at Walmart and, my everyday aspects of life, everything, I didn't expect to blow up and get to the point I could be monetized or even get a whole bunch of subscribers. But I'm pleasantly pleased with what I got. I know it's 58 or 59 the last time I looked at it, but I am highly thankful for the people that do watch, even though a majority of the people that do watch me aren't subscribed. But I'm still thankful for every view I got, every subscriber I've got, everybody that's commented, everybody that shows up in the lives, whether they talk to us or not. I'm thankful for it. And I'm going to keep this going as far as doing uploads on videos as long as I can. And, well, there's nothing wrong with that, Miss Fawn. You're only as young as you feel, and 52 is really not that old. But I'll keep, even though I may run out of Walmart stories, well, I won't run completely out of stories since I'm still working there for the time being. But, I'll try to keep telling some of the interesting stuff that may happen to me or others, or, what's going around in the county and everything. And we even had our second ever sinkhole open up. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I was going to talk about it in the video yesterday, but I got preoccupied doing other stuff by the time I got wound down to really kick back and relax. I kind of just fell asleep and forgot to make a video about it. But we had a sinkhole open up in a county that's about an hour drive from here. It wasn't a very big sinkhole, and we have no idea why it opened up because it hadn't been raining. But there are a lot of caves around here. Some of the caves are natural, some of them been opened up where people mined them for coal and everything. But we're thinking this is just one of those random acts in nature that they haven't told us why it opened up. And then we had one back in 2000 or 2001 that opened up after a small earthquake that hit here. And it got about the size of a half a football field in length before it stopped growing. And even though we've had a few small earthquakes, some of them you felt, some of them, unless you was close to it, you didn't feel it. But, if I had to choose, I'd much rather deal with a tornado than I would an earthquake. And at least you can prepare for a tornado a lot better than you can an earthquake, because those just kind of hit nowhere. But at least with tornadoes, you got a chance to prepare for them. And then the other day, that lives 2 doors down from me, had a bunch of cops show up at her place. I don't know what went on. I was at work when this happened. Got to hear about it when I got home. Apparently, they were the talk of the town because a bunch of cops put up. Apparently, nobody got arrested. And then, I think it was around Tuesday, a bunch of firefighters showed up at the house about 4 or 5 houses down from where I live at. And it wasn't really for a medical emergency. Apparently, they've been having a problem with they got this, his mom, or I think it's his mom or his wife or somebody, has one of her medical devices hooked up to their security system, that if she has a medical issue that goes on, it'll send out something to the fire department and to the 911 to be like, hey, send somebody my way, something's going on. But apparently it's been malfunctioning, and the last couple of times they've come out here, it's been because it's been malfunctioning, but they are in the process of getting that fixed. And the fire department and the police and the medical personnel around here, they're pretty nice. They're understanding. They'll come out even after they get out here, after they find out it was a malfunction. They don't get mad. They understand, they're pretty chill about it and understanding. Still make sure everybody's all right. Well, that hour went by quick. And, but anyway, I'm going to get off here and enjoy what's left of this beautiful evening, go outside for a couple of minutes. But I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's evening, and I may do another little short live over this weekend sometime, but I know I have a video coming out Sunday morning. sometime. I may have one coming out tomorrow. But anyway, I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all's evening. Have you a good weekend. And I will see y'all in the next video.